The planet Earth is full of wonderful phenomena. Imagine that you are going to swim in midnight and suddenly you find that you surrounded by glowing blue haze, as if huge pillars of light come out of seabed to the surface. Such happens rarely and looks magical. The chemical reaction is known as bioluminescence, and it can occur in different situations, for example, when tiny algae migrate closer to seashore. If you disturb these algae, they start to glow, trying protect yourself and create the most beautiful spectacle. There's a place in the world where you can see something similar but caused by others creatures. It is in New Zealand. In the caves of this country live glowworms, are the larvae of narrow-bodied, medium-sized beetles that can shine. If you are lucky to visit these caves, you will feel like in an underground galaxy. Recently, a video with a rare occurrence. Look carefully and try to understand what it is. Seems like to the river, right? But there is no water. Seeing it, the phenomenon for the first time, the Iraqis could not understand. That appeared before their eyes and called seen by the sandy river. Of course on. In fact, this is not a river, but an image. Turned out successful. What they saw, people are close to an optical illusion, is not sand, but not quite water. That's what occurred in dry areas. This is a fallout. Hail is not uncommon. And in the case of Sandy River, we see thousands of floating. Hailstone is essentially frozen rain, which fell out in the form of small ice pebbles. An unforgettable sight. Perhaps you are traveling to distant places. Suddenly you notice a cloud in the shape of a mushroom. Oh, maybe it's a spaceship. Civilization? You don't understand what it is, but you can't see how big it is. What you do? Keep moving. Adapts or turns around and travels to other side? You should know what is. Collapse on what's inside. There is a huge thunderstorm. And not just thunderstorm, a mesocyclone. Mesocyclone is a rotating updraft that may extend over several kilometers. It is usually accompanied heavy rains and blown by the wind. But I would turn the car around and went in the opposite direction. Do you know Thor? I think he can live inside the next natural phenomenon. Sometimes when there is an eruption, volcano process may be accompanied, kind of like a thunderstorm. Scientists call it volcanic lightning. They still argue about the causes of this phenomenon. One of their guess is that volcanic eruption ejects in positively charged atmosphere debris. These charges react with existing negative charges, resulting in lightning. Cool. Yes, this is the first time something like this observed during the eruption of Vesuvius in 79 AD. They say it was epic. I wonder if Thor was not seen there. Although what's him to do in Italy? In Africa, namely in Senegal, we will become witnessing another incredible spectacle about 30 kilometers to north of Dakar, the country's capital. There is a unique lake. Arriving there, you may think that you are out of spaceship and set foot on unknown planet. In the end, you ever seen a real pink water? Red Bull Lake or Pink Lake. The locals call it world famous for its bloom, and you can bathe in it if want, but you should know that the water in it is very salty. Redwa Lake is known as one of the saltiest lakes in the world. It is very salty. Redwa Lake is known as one of the saltiest lakes in the world. The salinity level of the water in it exceeds 40%, and if you're wondering why pink water, I hasten to assure you that it is not. Has nothing to do with otherworldly factors. Due to the high salt content, pink shade meets algae. Donal saline. She works out. Red pigment that absorbs sunlight, giving the lake striking pink color. And if you I want to see the lake in all its glory, It is better to go there in the dry season with November to June. Rainy in other months. Water dilutes pigment and color. Becomes less distinct. Last time Red Bull Lake began to attract tourists from all over the world, they do not miss the opportunity to take pictures while swimming in rose water. You must have heard about polar or northern lights. This phenomenon continues to fascinate scientists and mere observers. To see him, you will have to try. To start, go to the far north or south, our planet, and if you get enough patience and your lucky heaven will arrange for show you. The northern lights are quite rare phenomenon, and although greenish lights look tender, in fact they are, creates an extremely violent event. Exciting light show emerges when the charged particles of the sun, the upper layers of the Earth's atmosphere, crash. But the spectacle itself cannot but rejoice, not? Is not it? Can you imagine a hill that never stops burning? So called Smoking Hills in the Arctic region of Canada is one of a kind. Here we are closer than ever to scientific fiction because some minerals found in these hills, just outside the Earth on the surface, Mars. The soil here gives off smoke without stops for at least 200 years. Researchers thought that in this area there is an active volcano, but all turned out not to be the case. The soil in the area contains sulfur and coal, and when these elements come into contact with oxygen, they ignite spontaneously and emit smoke. I do not advise you explore this place. Environment here is extremely unfavorable for people. The day is toxic, its temperature is dangerous. Hi, let's move on until the smoke didn't get in our eyes. Have you ever heard of natural snowballs? They are another proof that nature is perfect. In 2016, coast of the Gulf of Aab in the northern, the Arctic Ocean filled with rose giant snowballs. Imagine the balls up to several meters across. This is rare, and a beautiful phenomenon occurs when strong wind, water is rolled. Small pieces of ice, the farther they are roll, the more ice they collect, and the more this ice becomes more polished. As a result, the snowballs turn into giant ones, perfectly shaped balls. Each of them looks amazing, but hundreds of these balls together. Just think you can arrange a snow fight between the giants. There are also donut-like snowballs. This form occurs only in ideal temperature conditions when snow hard and fluffy at the same time. Snow calm starts to roll down, typing everything. More snow until its middle part collapse. So snowball takes the form of a donut. And he tastes also like a donut? Hardly. Let's say you're going on a hike, but instead of the blue sky you see a huge fog cloud. It can ruin you. Photo shoot, but offer in return incredible spectacle. Foggy days. Ideal for the phenomenon known as foggy rainbow or white rainbow. She occurs due to tiny water droplets that form fog. They are even smaller, 1,000 millimeters, because of them. Instead, multicolored rainbow you get. Transparent with reddish outer edges and a bluish inner border. Cool.